think that we just did a great job of being the first ones to throw a punch.
He has been a first-quarter machine tonight.
Karl Anthony Towns showing no ill effect to that knee.
And the New York Knicks have looked elimination in the eye, and they are alive and kicking.
After a game like that, we understand what the stakes are. Now it's on us to respond.
We're going to have to even be better next game if we expect to have our season continue.
Jay, was that Steve Urkel? Because that definitely wasn't Stefan.
Yeah, that definitely
no,
was
that was
Stefan.
not Stefan.
That was not Stefan.
No flavor. It was not
Stephen
smooth.
A. Smith right there. I don't know who that was.
Windy,
what's going on, y'all? How y'all
doing?
You doing good today? You seem like you upbeat today. The mood is good today.
I couldn't make the cold open, but I heard somebody else filled in for me. Did an admirable job, but I'm here. Stephen A's in the house. I'm ready to roll. What's going on, Wendy? How you doing?
Fool, man.
Jay, what's up? What's up?
You've got a lot of talents, but impressionist is not one of them.
Oh, my goodness. All right, let's get into it, Stephen A. I know you are in a celebratory mood because how about those New York Knicks? The Indiana Pacers carried a 3-1 lead into MSG for Thursday's Game 5, but with the Knicks facing elimination, they finally got the start they wanted, led by Jalen Brunson, who scored the game's first 3 baskets and had 14 first-quarter points. New York held down the rival Pacers for a wire-to-wire victory, 111-94, to force Game 6 in Indy on Saturday night.
I mean, I brushed against the wall, and so I wasn't thinking I need to play better than him. I was just thinking I need to help my team win, and that's my mindset every time I'm on the court, just helping my team win.
Every game is do or die, so we don't bring that energy, we don't bring that execution, our season will be over.
Okay, Stephen A., did Game 5 say more about the Knicks or the Pacers?
Well, I thought it said more about the New York Knicks from the standpoint of their grit. We all know that from top to bottom, the Indiana Pacers appear to be a better team. But the New York Knicks had to come out there. They had to get on their grind. They had to be ready to fight, to understand that you're on the brink of elimination. You win or you go home. It's over for you. And they responded like that. They came out. They scored on their first 5 possessions. Jalen Brunson was obviously hot. The defensive tenacity was there from day one. You saw Mikal Bridges and others picking up Haliburton 94 feet. You saw a lot of that going on, and certainly Haliburton and Pascal Siakam didn't have their greatest nights, and we all know why, because the New York Knicks amped it up. The question is whether or not they can do it continuously. But if you're at the Garden for Game 5, knowing you had blown Game 1, you had lost Game 2, you ultimately lost Game 4, that was a game that was winnable, but you didn't get it done. It was one of those situations. It was one of those situations where you simply can't find yourself losing at home. Had they lost this game last night at Madison Square Garden, the season would have been a disappointment in a lot of people's eyes, simply because it would have been seen as an opportunity that got away. I mean, last night, fellas, New York Knicks are up 14, 15 points with over 3 minutes left, and I still wasn't comfortable. And that's all residue from Game 1. And so knowing that's my reality, seeing them close the deal the way that they did last night, I was happy for them. I wanted to give them props for that. It still doesn't mean that Game 6 is a given. As a matter of fact, Game 6 is going to be even harder, and we'll see what they do.
Stephen, I'm going to up your one on this. I thought it was their best performance from beginning to end that I've seen of the Knicks in the playoffs thus far. I mean, just the tone that they set. And, not only do I think it's enough that makes you think about, okay, if we get that version of Cat in Game 6, everybody kind of believes that this is who Jalen Brunson is when he's aggressive off the top. If we get that type of defensive performance from Mikal Bridges, if we get shot making from OG, we have a legit chance to win this series. Even though I would have OKC favored, that team last night is a team that I feel like will at least give you a puncher's chance against OKC. Like, it's just the way they played. And Jalen Brunson, he is just phenomenal. Not only was his defense better, but just shot making from the beginning. This point guard duel that we have going, Tyrese Haliburton having a phenomenal game in Game 4, and then Jalen Brunson coming right back at the beginning of the game. The first and the third quarter is when the Knicks have had these lulls, right, where they've had to have comebacks. And the way he's really set the tone in the first and third quarter, I think 14 points in the first quarter, 17 points in the third quarter, just set the tone for how he's going to play. I thought it was one of his best performances, too, shooting 64% from the field.
Series is defined when the Pacers have the ball. What happens when the Pacers have the ball? How fast are they moving? How often do they get it? And what happens with Jalen Brunson? I know that Jalen Brunson is a brilliant offensive player. He will score on any court in the country under any conditions. He's awesome. He's brilliant. I expect him to have 30 points in a game now because he has standardized offensive greatness. This series is about what happens when he doesn't have the ball. And last night, he was a champion at the defensive end of the court. The Pacers' #1 game plan every moment in this series has been to attack Jalen Brunson, and it has been working. Coming into last night, the Pacers shot 68% against him when he was the primary defender. And that tracking is a little bit flawed because there were times when you couldn't even tell he was a primary defender because they could set a screen and he was gone. Last night, 3 of 14, 21%. And the key to me is the 14. The Pacers still went after him as much as they possibly could. He didn't allow it. He fought over screens. He got up into people. He refused to allow himself to just go away. Look, he's never going to be an elite defender. He is a superstar because of what he does when he's got the ball. But his fight last night when he was on the defensive end was defining. There were other things that happened in this game, other credit we're going to discuss, but Jalen Brunson competing at the defensive end was the defining moment of this one.
Well, listen, you're absolutely right. No disagreement there. But let's also understand that it's a lot easier for the Knicks to do that, Wendy, when they come out and they explode on you offensively. You know, when they score in their first 5 possessions, when Jalen Brunson has 14 points in the first quarter, when a guy like Karl-Anthony Towns has 12 points in the first quarter. You know, when you look at them, they were a plus 23 on the court together. Coming into this game, they were a minus during the series when they weren't playing together. That wasn't the case last night.
Minus
so we got to give
24.
credit where credit is due. That's right. They were minus 24. So we got to give credit where credit is due. But we're on First Take, and it's in the morning time, and there's no way in hell that I'm going to let this slide with Jay Williams. I really appreciate the soliloquy that he articulated just a couple of minutes ago, Wendy. I mean, did you see the brilliance of Jay Williams and what he was highlighting that transpired in the game? But conveniently, not only did he not bring up the fact that no one but Siakam had double-digit shot attempts. He was the only Pacer with double-digit shot attempts. That's how much in him the New York Knicks defense was last night, okay? That nobody had double-digit shot attempts. But that included some dude named Tyrese Haliburton.
Oh, yeah.
Was that him? Did I miss it? Did I see 2 for 7 shooting? Did I see 8 points? Now, that has nothing to do with what he may do in Game 6 because the brother can play, and we know this.
Yes.
But the noise that Jay Williams was making over the last few days, and then last night at the Garden, 7 shot attempts, 8 points, and not to mention, I mean, you would have thought, Wendy, that he would have at least said, yo. I mean, I don't know what was up with the Haliburton last night, the Garden, the biggest stage. I mean, I expect him to show up in Game 6, but I don't know what happened to him last night.
We're
he didn't
7
do that.
minutes into the show. I was allowing you to lead the show.
No. I'm talking about when you spoke. I'm talking about when you spoke.
I know, but I got to ask a different question. Don't worry. You know I love to battle you. You can know that last night, even though I found his play to be unacceptable. You can know that from 12 a.m. in the morning until now. I've been waiting for this moment, and that's okay. Yeah. It's all good. Ain't nobody running away from it with you.
Well, why were you waiting for it? I mean, if you were waiting for it, why didn't you say something about it? If you wait for it, why didn't you say something about it?
You, Mr. Steve Urkel, like First Take, run it back. Hey, look, I'm going to tell you this, big bro. It was unacceptable last night. I'm the first to tell you. I sent a tweet out last night saying, how do we not look at the basket? And yes, 7 shot attempts, and I give a lot of credit to the New York Knicks because their defense really helped hinder his style of play. But also, there is a huge level of accountability on Tyrese Haliburton. I mean, when you think about when he scores 20 or plus points, they're like 30-3, some random stat like that. Their style is out of control. And when he is aggressive off the bat, when he scores and is looking to attack, they are a better team. Now, I know the Knicks play great defense. I mean, damn near Mikal Bridges is hugging them. He's giving his kisses. I mean, they might as well get a private room with the way Mikal Bridges is all up on them. I mean, go ahead and do what you got to do. But that's no excuse. I still think Tyrese Haliburton is a superstar. This was the worst performance that he's had in the playoffs. In the playoffs. It is also a fact that he has dropped single digits. I think it's happened like 13 times this season. Unacceptable again. But still, you cannot diminish the level of importance that he is to this team. When you take off the head of the snake, but when you take off the head of the snake and when he's not aggressive, this team is a team that can lose. It puts more accountability on him because they can't win without him being elite.
Well,
superstar status.
Hold on, one
bad
second.
performance does not mean not superstar, Stephen A. We had some superstars have bad performances in the playoffs that you called out as well.
We ain't had no superstar scored single digits in 13 separate games.
But is it more that the Knicks found the key to stopping him?
Molly, let me help you out here. Superstars.
Oh, that's my trigger word.
You don't find the keys to stopping them very often. It doesn't happen. That's what makes them superstars. And exactly, which is why we have to reflect on that and have a conversation about that. Okay. Have a conversation about that, brother, because of what transpired, what I saw transpired in OKC. Okay. We got to have that conversation. No problem. But all I'm saying to you is this. When you look at Haliburton, yes, the New York Knicks, to answer your question, Molly, they found some keys, at least for this one game. We'll really know whether they found something if they could do it in a Game 6 and force a Game 7 back at Madison Square Garden. Fair enough. But still in all, I look at the shot attempts. Wendy, you know this. Jay, you know this. When we talk about Harden, there's a 3-4-time scoring champion. We know how prolific he is. We know how unstoppable he can be one-on-one. It's one thing to have a bad game, but you show up in a Game 6 or Game 7, numerous closeout games throughout your career where the shot attempts ain't there. That's when it's an alarm. Now, if you're missing, you're missing. Anybody can miss. Anybody can have a bad game. But the absence of attempts, the absence of aggression, of assertiveness, of activity, the fact that happens, that is not something you see. And as you saw in the 4 playoff losses, 11.5 points a game on, 38-39% shooting. This is all I'm talking about. You got to ask those questions. Got to ask.
I will say this. I am not coming on national TV and absolving Tyrese Haliburton of his poor performance at all. I'm not making excuses for it. They were up 3-1. It was a closeout scenario. He was not as aggressive. If I come on TV on Monday and there's 6 shot attempts, I'm going to lose my mind. I'll eat crow. I'll apologize to you on national TV. I'll do that. But I don't think we're going to see that Tyrese Haliburton. I don't think we're going to see the one that's going to be passive in one of the biggest moments he's going to have in his career.
He's a hell of a player.
I've let you guys go because I'm happy you're keeping the same energy that you had earlier this week when you were counting Ant Edwards' shot attempts and you said 13 was unacceptable. So I'm glad that you guys are being consistent with that. But I'm going to again point out that there's nuance when it comes to stars. It's not about the amount of shots. Haliburton is not an elite scorer. I don't have the number in front of me. I doubt he's in the top 30 in the league in scoring. He averaged 18 points a game this season. He's averaged about 18 points a game in the postseason. And 18 points a game is very good. The man is a supermax player. But he's not an elite scorer. Even when they're at their best and they're winning games, he's averaging 21. I mean, Brunson falls out of bed and scores 30. Okay, they are. Haliburton's skill, elite skill, is as a playmaker. And again, what they did in this game wasn't just holding the 7 shots. They kept him from making plays. They scored 130 points, the Pacers did in Game 4. They scored 94 in Game 5. 36-point difference. How does that happen? You kept him off the glass. You slowed him up. You pressured him full court. You didn't turn the ball over. Haliburton definitely did not show energy in this game. Stephen A., you are right. When you have 13 games in a season where you score less than 10 points, that is an indication of a weakness. He has, he lays duds, okay? It happens. Pacers fans will tell you this happens about every 2 or 3 weeks. Maybe it was due to happen. But where the Knicks got him here wasn't in the 7 shot attempts. It was they kept him out of running up the floor, cut down his assists by 9. That's what they got to do if they're going to make a comeback.
Let me get on Wendy for a quick second here, Jay, Molly, because you see, The brilliance of Wendy is the brother knows basketball, but if you let him talk enough, he'll make you think he's the only one that knows. You ain't telling us something we don't know, bruh. We know that there's more. We know that Haliburton's star status comes from the fact that he is a playmaker, that he is not some prolific scorer. And we also know that superstars in this game don't have to be prolific scorers to be superstars. We looked at CP3 for years, and we called him, what did we call him, Jay? A point guard.
A point guard.
Because this brother is one of the elite point guards to have ever played the game. He wasn't out there averaging 25 a night. By the way, Gary Payton didn't average 25 a night. By the way, Jason Kidd or John Stockton didn't have average 25 a night. Hell, not even Magic Johnson did, okay? Point guards, facilitators, quintessential playmakers. We know the difference. The issue with Haliburton is that Haliburton, when he doesn't score, is when the other stuff plummets as well. It is rare in the day that you will see Haliburton with single digits in shot attempts, single digits in points scored. But he's blown up in terms of assists, in terms of his playmaking prowess. Sometimes when your playmaking ability is predicated on the threat that you bring to the table, but you didn't bring that threat to the table, that's the difference. CP3, we could see CP3 go out there and have 13 points. We are not questioning at all his greatness as a playmaker because his playmaking greatness isn't predicated on his ability to score. It's his basketball IQ, it's his ball handling and passing ability, it's his floor generalship, the way he's able to direct traffic, etc. Haliburton seems to be able to do that better when he's scoring.
Okay, so here's what I want to know. Now that the Knicks have contained Hallie, what is our confidence level that New York can come back and win this series? Jay?
I mean, I don't know what to expect in this series. I'm going to be honest with everybody. I mean, I think the only thing to say is to expect the unexpected. What I do know is that there's been a counter for every counter. And I would say this. I think this was by far the Knicks' best performance I think they had in the playoffs. Jalen Brunson, this team was phenomenal. They shot lights out, right? They came out ready to go. I think you will see a series of adjustments in Game 6, Stephen A. I think you will see a lot more screens by Miles Turner in the backcourt. I think whoever Karl Anthony Towns is guarding, there's no way Rick Carlisle is going to allow them just to retreat all the way back to the rim to protect it. He's going to have whoever Karl Anthony Towns is guarding set full court screens for Hallie to create more room for Hallie to play north to south instead of east to west. I think you're going to see a different type of blitzing scheme on Jalen Brunson to take the ball out of his hands. And I'll also tell you this, when you get to the second quarter, when it's Karl Anthony Towns and four defensive-minded people, there were so many times I can point to possession after possession where Cat was great, put his head down, burrowed his way to the bucket. But it was like Olay. There were multiple times Indiana Pacer players decided just to let him go instead of stepping in and taking a charge. Can he stay out of foul trouble? So I give them a 40% chance to win because I just don't know which team is going to show up. And I think I do know, to a degree, what kind of schemes Carlisle is going to implement in order for Indiana to play faster, especially when they're at home, because they better get it at home. They better get Game 6. That thing goes back to New York. That ain't going to be good for them.
Yeah, I definitely think the Knicks have learned a lot about how to play against the Pacers, and they are much better equipped now to play against them than they were at the start of this series. Tibbs has made some adjustments. They've learned some things. They're much better positioned. I will also say that the Pacers are 11-4 in this playoffs. If you go back to January 1st, which is the date I've been talking about where this team really started getting serious, they've played 700 basketball for 5 full months, 700 basketball. They do not go on losing streaks, this team now. So what I will say, if you're the Knicks, you know that your top-end talent, you've got 2 all-NBA players right there, Brunson and Towns. And last night, Brunson and Towns were all-NBA players. Your top-end talent is better in this series. The Pacers' depth is better. The Knicks' top-end talent is better. So this is a situation, a Game 6 on the road, elimination. This is defining. This is where you make your money. This is where you establish your legacy. This is where you make your name. The Knicks botched one in Game 1 at home, okay? They probably very well could be up 3-2 in this series, but they're not. To get it back, to get back home court advantage, you need something super special. start with their top talent right there if you're going to do something tomorrow night?
Well, a couple of things. Number one, I give them a 30% chance to win.
Okay.
I'm rooting for them, but I give them a 30% chance to win because I'm very, very worried about Karl Anthony Towns. We see him hobbled. We see it. That's why I get mad when I'm listening to folks talk on the air, and they're like, he's not getting back on defense. Yo, y'all, the brother is limping and has been gimpy for 3 or 4 games. Okay? We didn't expect to see him out there last night, let alone for him to be out there and to play all 12 minutes in the first quarter. But that's what transpired. So we have to understand what they're going against. I'm very worried about Rick Carlisle because Rick Carlisle this brother is a hell of a coach. He's a Hall of Fame caliber coach. And when I think about the Indiana Pacers coming into Game 6, all right, as Pascal Siakam and the kind of series that he's been having, Haliburton and the way that he's been balling periodically, you really, really think they're not going to show up on their home turf for a Game 6? That only Siakam is going to have double-digit shot attempts? I don't think so. They're going to be far more aggressive offensively, and that's going to be a challenge for the New York Knicks. And then I'm looking at some stats right here. Points off turnovers favor the Pacers, 106-48. Fast break points, it favors the Pacers, 81-38. The bench for the Indiana Pacers, 172-97. Those are 3 components that you can utilize, particularly when you're on your home turf in Indiana. And oh, by the way, throughout these playoff series, Indiana is undefeated when scoring 114 points or more. They have lost all 4 games. They have failed to score that many points. And so I'm looking at that, and I'm very worried. Yes, I'm a New York Knicks fan, and I'm rooting for them, but I'll be damned if I'm going to look at Game 6 and tell you New York has a better than 25-37.
Don't even try it, Jay. Hey, Fashion Police, this is just for you, Stephen A. Wait, no, don't even try it.
I thought we were talking about the game.
Stephen A. Jay just took out his pocket square.
Smooth pocket square, pocket hanky.
Stephen A., you are going to lose. Take your pocket
square
out right now.
Nope, it's smooth. It's tight, isn't it,
Stephen A.? It is a piece of paper folded up.
Why are you telling people lies, Molly? Why are you telling people lies?
Tape is overjoying. Stephen A.,
Wendy, why is she trying to tell people lies on national TV?
He's got literally a piece.
Wow, Molly.
Boy, I got quick hands now. Come over and get touched up real quick.
Really?
Get touched up real quick over here.
Doing that? You got on a fake pocket square? A fake pocket square
I'm
national
just doing
television?
What I do. I'm doing what I do.
I am devastated. I am devastated.
Stephen A., I have one question before we go to break.
There goes the Duke credentials.
Excuse me. Wait, I got one question.
I'm cost efficient, Wendy.
Hold up. You love to ask questions. Did you get it from the printer on set, or did you get it from the printer?
1,000% the printer right there on set.
Oh, does anyone else have to say anything before we go to break?
Oh, by the way, Molly, can I take a moment to take a moment to wish somebody happy birthday?
Of course.
The brother turned 60 today. He is one of the greatest directors and producers in Hollywood history. My brother Antoine Fuqua has turned 60 today. You know, Training Day, Olympus Has Fallen, all of that stuff. Reservoir Dogs.
Don't let him go.
Stuff.
Don't let him go. You don't come at me.
Well, if we're going to do that, I'd like to wish my sister Kristen a happy birthday today.
That's right. What's wrong with that?
By the way, everybody, it's May 30th. Everybody whose birthday it is today, happy birthday, guys.
Hold on. I also want to wish a happy birthday to my nephew, Khan. It was his birthday on Wednesday. Anyone else?
Your sister?
Stephen A., wait. Brandy, keep me on camera. Stephen A.?
I should write a note. To y'all on that.